6'5", 195 cornerback has transferred to Colorado. And after talking to Coach Prime, we have to come shake the world. And as you can see, he got me coming in as a third string on the depth chart. And I mean, I got to work my way up. He said it's not going to be easy. With all these 5-star recruits, I got to prove myself again. Going into my first practice and not being that number one cornerback on that depth chart, I had something to prove. So I picked that ball off and took it all the way for 6 to show Coach Prime I'm here. And I mean, I don't care what it takes. I've been in college for 2 years and I've been starting my 2 years and I got to get to that number one spot. But the next play, Shador almost throws me another interception, but I dropped the ball. And I laid it, boom, made sure to knock his buckles loose. But I talked to Coach after practice and he said, great practice and you could challenge to move up that depth chart next week. Going into my first game at Colorado against Colorado State, started off intense. I started off with a tackle on first down. Going into the next play on 2nd and 12, I didn't push pressure against that block, so I ripped around and he ran straight up that field and went all the way for 6. Now I got to do better, but on 1st and 10 going into that next drive, you see I was in a cover 3 zone, but I read it so well I caught an interception and I will go all the way. I see nothing but green grass in that end zone for 6 and I was fired up. And being that third string cornerback, I gotta show Coach Prime something, so I gotta prove it every single play. That didn't stop Colorado State before half. They went down and kicked 3. As you can see, I was staying patient on 2nd and 7, but I came down and laid the boom on him and he felt that one. But on 3rd and 1, they had an inside zone and that running back was just running through everybody to get to that end zone. He went in for 6. They just keep driving down that field and I'm putting it into it. On 2nd and 15, they throw a screen pass, but I came down and knocked him for a tackle for loss. He didn't get anything. And I mean, I was fired up. We're going to win the game, and I ended the game off with 6 total tackles and 1 interception. Coaches gave me another chance to move up that depth chart and be cornerback number 2. And I mean, we had a cover 3 zone, and Shador Sanders throw me an interception, and that right there won me the position battle off bat. And I tried to take it back for 6, but they all came and rallied that ball. But going into the next play, as you can see, I run all the way across the field and lay a big hit on that running back, but not the hit that I wanted. But after practice, I talked to coach, and he said, congratulations, you are now number 2 on that depth chart. Keep working. Going into our next game against FCS Midwest, some bums. I absolutely misangled this tackle and looked like a fool out there. But you know, I will always make up for it. On 3rd and 5, I baited up this wide receiver and went in for an interception, but I couldn't escape. And one thing about me, you cannot throw that ball Earl Baduki way. He is going to intercept the ball. Going into this next drive on 1st and 11, I broke on this ball so good and intercepted that ball again. And I mean, I strike for greatness and I will go all the way down for 6. And I was turned up with my team. And I mean, we were getting that momentum all night long. We were up 27-0, but on 3rd and 12, this quarterback keeps on trying me and throws it again. And I intercept the ball again. And I go and get pushed out of bounds. And I mean, you could see it in my eyes. I wanted nothing but another pick 6, but I will take it. And I mean, that absolutely fired me up. But we going to win the game. And as you can see, I get player of the game with 1 tackle and 3 interceptions. I had a totally ball out game. Coaches gave me another chance to move up the depth chart and be cornerback number 1. And I absolutely flat iron this running back. I'm doing whatever it takes to move me up that depth chart. But as you can see, I run all the way across the field again and catch this running back, and I wrap and roll him this time. But going in with the last play of practice, I mean, Shador Sanders run all the way to the left side of that field, and I hit him, and Coach Prime gets mad at me. But I am now number 1 on that depth chart. After being named the number 1 cornerback and coming out here to Saturday's game, I got something to prove. Starting early on 1st and 10, I mean, this running back was striking through our defense, but I came all the way over to make the tackle on him. Going into the next play on 2nd and 8, I tried to undercut this route, but the wide receiver just caught the ball, but I tackled him. And early on, I mean, things just weren't going our way. On 2nd and 7, I turned around and get blindside blocked, and the running back went all the way for a touchdown. But I got to snap back into reality. Coming into the next play, I came down here real hard and laid that boom on that wide receiver. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, I thought I baited this wide receiver up real good, and I did not catch the interception. He caught the ball. Again, down to that goal line, I made sure that this running back had no way of getting into that box. But on the next play, he found a way. They went in and scored. But I mean, I'm just not having a so well game. On 3rd and 5, I laid up a completion, and the wide receiver caught the ball, but I brought him down. Not having one of my best games, I ended the game off with 6 total tackles. Going into our next game against Oregon State, I had to come out here and shock the world, so I started off with a little tackle. But going into the next play on 3rd and 11, I shot in like a rocket and tried to take this running back all the way out. But on 1st and 10, this quarterback was sitting in that pocket for too long, so I had to go in there and sit him down, and I was fired up with my teammates. But that didn't stop them from marching down that field. On 2nd and goal, I missed the angle of this quarterback, and he just ran in for 6, and that was totally on me. But on 3rd and 6, when it's time to get off that field, you know me, I set him down as soon as he caught that ball, and I wasn't playing. And on 3rd and goal, I get a tackle for loss. But we're up 21-10 at this point, and it's 39 seconds to go, and I don't know why these quarterbacks keep throwing that ball my way, but I nearly had an interception. But I had a pretty ball-out game. I had 6 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 sack. Going into our next game against 3-1 Oregon, the quarterback tried me early on, so I set that wide receiver down as soon as he caught the ball. It was too much of a game for me, but I set this quarterback, boom, down quick, as you can see, and I was turned up. And I told my teammate, I hope I stinged him right there. But going into the next play on 3rd and 6, this wide receiver had me burning. He went in for the touchdown. But I'm not gonna lie, these wide receivers were giving me trouble all night. On 1st and 10, he catch a pretty good gain, and I shoestring him. And I just completely had enough. But going into the next play, I was man to man, and I don't know why this quarterback bothered throwing that ball again my way, because I intercept that ball. And I'm just not taking it anymore. I had enough. And on 2nd and goal, as you can see, they draw down that field, and I just missed angle the gap, and he went in to score. And on 3rd and goal, I told you stop throwing that ball my way. I one hand intercept this ball, and I was turned up. And I really don't know why they bothered throwing Earl Baduki way, because he is a strap-up king. But going into the next play, I get ran over, and we go on to lose this ball game. I had an absolute monster game with 7 total tackles and 2 interceptions. Going into our next game against Arizona State, I nearly had my first interception of the game early on, but he caught the ball, and I made him fumble the ball, and we got a turnover down. And I mean, big-time players make big-time plays in big-time moments. But going into the next play on 3rd and 7, I mean, he dumped it off to the running back, and I tried to come down, and I mean, I cleaned his clock. And I absolutely got up and stared him down. But going into the next play on 1st and 10, this quarterback just keeps on trying me, but I just undercut this ball, and I thought I had an interception, but I did not. But I stayed relentless all night and made sure this running back had no forward progress. I laid the boom on him. Going into the next play on 3rd and 9, I made sure this running back got set down as soon as he caught that ball. I laid a big hit to force it to 4th down. But sadly, they ended us the old-fashioned way and knew the ball to run the time off the clock. But I had a ball-out game and end the game off a 9 total tackles. On to our next game against Arizona, I mean, on 1st and 10, I started off running all the way across the field to make this tackle on this running back. And after all the losses we took, we cannot lose no more. The quarterback throws the ball behind the receiver, but he still catches the ball. And I was disappointed in myself letting the pass be caught on me, but going to 3rd and 4, I catch a spectacular interception, and I was fired up. And as always, I gave all praises to the Most High. That boom! And he sure felt me on that one. But going into the next play on 3rd down, run all the way across the field and make sure that he don't pass this 1st down line. And I sure was hyped because I got my team off of that field. But they drive all the way down to that goal line, and on 2nd and goal, we helicopter this running back. But after giving it all we got, the very next play, he goes in with the inside zone and scores on us. Going into this next play on 1st and 10, the wide receiver runs the weakest route, and I intercept that ball, and I see nothing but that end zone, and I go all the way for 6. And my team needed a game-changing play, and that takes us up by 1. With that interception right there, I broke the school record with 8 interceptions on the season already. But not just me, my teammate get an interception the very next play, and as you can see, we running all the way down that field. And he got a pick 6 as well. But as you can see, we break that cold streak and get a win, and I end the game off with 6 total tackles and 2 interceptions. Going into our next game against UCLA, coming out on 1st and 10, I came down and laid that boom on that running back. Earl Baduki is not giving them no breaks. Going into this next play on 2nd down, this quarterback rolls out of that pocket and gets boomed as well. But going into the next play on 4th down, as you can see, I'm in a cover 3 zone, and I bait these receivers up, and I almost have an interception, but I dropped the ball. But I will get it back. As you can see, on 2nd and 5, this wide receiver thought he had me beat, but I intercept that ball. And I mean, I totally had the right angle on this running back, and I absolutely flat ironed this kid. And I mean, I was just giving him headaches all night with another tackle. But while we're up 14-0, this quarterback is just giving up on 4th down. He just throws it to me. I don't know why you throw the ball Earl Baduki way. I get another interception. And I mean, I'm just breaking records out here. Who can stop me? We're going to win another game, and I have a ball-out game with 4 total tackles and 2 interceptions. We're going into our next game against Washington. I mean, they strike first. As you can see, they drive all the way down the field and score early on, and we got to do something about this. But going into the next play on 2nd and 12, Earl Baduki, being the game changer that he is, runs all the way across the field, hits this running back, makes him fumble. Our teammate picks it up, and he will go all the way for 6. Going into that next play on 3rd and 7, I try to take ACL, MCL out on this quarterback. But on 1st and 10, I bait this wide receiver up, and I catch that ball with an interception. I bounce it out left side and almost go all the way for 6, but I get pushed out of bounds. And I tell you, about one more second, I would have been gone, fellas. And as you can see, I was fired up with the teammates. But going into the next play on 1st and 10, the quarterback tries me again, and I almost had my 2nd interception, but I dropped it. But Washington didn't just give up just yet. They scored another touchdown, but we going to win the game. And I had a decent game with 3 total tackles and 1 forced fumble and 1 interception. Going into our next game against Cal, I mean, it started off intense. They dumped it off to that running back, and I dived at his legs and made him do a front flip. Going into that next play on 3rd down, I waited for this quarterback to throw him that ball, and I almost had a pick 6, but I dropped. But on 2nd and 3, I had a cover 3 zone, but I said forget it and didn't even play my zone and ran with this wide receiver and caught another interception. And I'm just a ball hawk in this game. And I turn around and almost take it for 6, but they all rally to that ball, and as you can see, I was turned up with my teammates. But Cal still had some fight in them. They drove all the way down the field and scored on us. Earl Baduki didn't let up not one bit. On first down, he ran all the way across that field to lay that boom on them. Going into the next play on 2nd and 6, we were in a cover 3 zone, and I don't know what this safety was doing, but this wide receiver was wide open, and he takes it all the way for 6. And I started to get really frustrated, but going into the next play on 3rd down, I was just short to having this interception, but he caught that ball and ran up that field. And as you can see, I end the game off of 5 total tackles and 1 interception. Going into our next game against number 3 USC Trojans, I mean, it started off a bit slow. I missed angle this tackle, and that running back ran up that field with bad intentions. But on 3rd down, this quarterback made sure to get this wide receiver the ball, but I set him down as soon as he got it. But on 2nd and 4, this quarterback had no one to throw that ball to, so he tucked it and got boomed by Earl Baduki. And I was fired up. But going into the next play on 3rd and 4, I missed angled this running back, and I mean, I tripped over myself, and he went all the way for 6. That was a tough pill to swallow. But going into the next play on 3rd down, I had my wide receiver strapped up, but look over top. They burnt our DBs and scored another touchdown. And I mean, I don't know what's going on out there, but going into the next play, my wide receiver runs a slant route, and I boomed him. But going into the next play on 2nd and 10, this quarterback launches the ball up with 0 seconds on the clock, and I don't know what I was doing. But going into that next play on 1st and 10, the running back catches that ball out of the backfield, and I mean, I dive at them angles. But I'm not gonna lie, USC kept their foot on that pedal. That's all they do is run that ball down our throat, literally. But on 2nd down, I had enough. This running back was not getting to that 1st down mark. But as you can see, we're going to lose the game, and I end the game off for 8 total tackles and 1 sack. Going into this next game against Utah, I mean, they were striking early. They threw a quick pass, and he got up that field, but I wrapped and rolled him on 2nd down. But on 3rd down, I came running down with bad intentions to come down and shorten his neck. But going into the next play on 2nd and 8, look at the elusive speed that Earl Baduki has. He ran all the way across the field and lays that boom on the quarterback. But going into the next play on 3rd down, this quarterback knows better to throw that ball my way. He throws to the other side of the field, and they score a touchdown. On 1st and 10, I come down and lay that boom on this running back. Oh my God. And I was fired up, but they drove all the way down the field, and on 2nd and goal, the quarterback literally just walks in the end zone. And I'm looking at my teammates like, what's going on? But going into the next play on 3rd down, I drop an interception. But as you can see, we taking it to overtime, and we go on to lose the game. And I was very disappointed. But I go on to get 5 total tackles and 1 tackle for loss. But I go on to get the Bronco Award, and I go on to win the Jim Thorpe Award. But with that being said, we did not make it to that conference championship, and we had a bye, and we're going into bowl week. Going into our next game against UNLV, I mean, on 3rd and 10, I was trying to bait this wide receiver up. I bait him up and thought I had an interception, but he catches the ball and go up the field, but I tackle him. On 3rd and 10, I stayed back and stayed patient on this man-to-man, but I came down with bad intentions. Catch that ball, and I'm right in front of that end zone, and I will go for 6. And I'm just an all-time great. But going into the next play on 2nd and 10, I run all the way across the field and dive at this running back ankles and tackle him. Going into the next play on 1st and 10, this tight end was stiff-arming my teammate, so I came in to finish him off and tackle him and bring him to that ground. As you can see, we're up 14-0, but on 1st and 10, I tried to come down and lay that boom, but I still got the tackle, but it wasn't the best one. But I made sure to make up for myself. On 1st and 10, I came down and laid that boom on that running back. And going into the next play on 4th and 12, UNLV has no chance with 0 seconds on that clock, and I tackle him to end the game. And as you can see, we are bowl champs, and we go on to win the game. And as you can see, I end the game off with 6 total tackles and 1 interception. And as you can see, this is the end of Earl Baduki Jr. career in college football. I mean, I don't know what's next for him, so drop a comment down below and tell me what's next for Earl Baduki.